This is the resource-filled woman, and I am here today to talk to you about resilient women or resourceful women. Okay? It's one thing to be strong, it is one thing to bounce back every now and again, but to consistently get knocked down and get up and stay up takes resilience. And in order to become resilient, we must be resourceful. One of the things that I've learned along my journey, well, there's actually three things. In order to be resourceful, a resourceful woman has to do her research. Listen, you have to have information and knowledge in order to be resourceful, because that information and knowledge can lead you into the next steps of where you are going. That information and knowledge can open a door of access, okay? Sometimes that research is going to be reading. When I say to you, I at least minimum every day, I am reading the morning news. I just always do it. I am always looking out for details of information and knowledge, and the way that my brain processes it, because I've been doing it for so long. Either I find a way that I can utilize that information right now, I will attach it to my vision board. If it is a piece of information or knowledge that can help me reach a goal, or even if it's something that I know can help someone else, it's a piece of information I can pass along. Sometimes you just have to write it in a notebook or store it in your mental Rolodex. But one thing that you have to do is that you have to look for information, and that is going to mean researching. Number two, asking for help. Now, what I'm learning and what I have learned is resources can either come through connection with people that have access to doors of opportunity, or information, or finances that you need right now. Okay, so that is human capital. You can actually go to someone that can give you what you need. That is a very important resource. Now, I want to be honest. Being able to have people that you can go to directly as a means of a resource to give you what you need is actually an advantage and a privilege that everyone does not have. However, what I would say on your road to resiliency, part of the resourcefulness that you need to build up as a woman is having those connections and that type of social environment around you, so that you have people around you that can be a resource for you, and you can be a resource for them. The second kind of resource is services. Listen, we have in the United States what is called social services, and that's not just your department of social services. That is many type of charities that can help you along your journey. And what I want you to never do is to allow your ego or your pride to keep you from accessing those services that our tax dollars pay for. I would like to share a really short story, really short, right? So when I came into Fayetteville in 2005, I was recently separated from my husband, okay? I didn't know anybody. I didn't want to go back home asking for help. And I said, I am going to get through this. And one of the quickest things that I knew, it was a lady in church who was a social worker. And I just, one day after church, I asked her, hey, these are the things that I'm trying to do. I need a place to stay. I need work. I don't really know anyone. I'm applying. I don't really know the city. What do you suggest? She told me about a program at the local social services called Work First, and there was also a program called TANF, which is Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. So one of them, what we know as welfare, is where you can actually get a financial like stipend depending on your income and the size of your household. Okay, you could also get food stamps, right? I needed all of that. At the same time, the only real asset that I had was my car that was gifted to me for my senior year in college by my mother. So I was going to be homeless soon, but what I did have was a car. My car kept giving me problems. So I went to a social worker at DSS here, and I will never forget his name. His name was William Getz. He helped me so much. So with the Work First program at the time, I was able to, for 6 months, they helped me with a stipend for my daughter's daycare. So as opposed to paying $690 a month, every month I think I only had to pay $115. They helped me search for work. They helped to pay for gas. They got my car fixed. I think the repairs were under $400. And so I was able to look for work while my daughter was in daycare. Now, before they could fix my car, I still had to walk and ride the bus. So I would get up at like 5:30 in the morning. I would put my daughter on the bus in her wheelchair. I would drop her off at her daycare, and then I would walk to the bus stop and go from job location to job location asking about work. I would also go to the local library and apply online. I had to turn in a job search log at the end of every week. When I did that, that ensured that they continued my stipend. I was also given additional help for other things, and once my car got fixed, that was extremely helpful, because as soon as my car got fixed, I was called and told that they had a space for me and my daughter at a shelter for families. So I drove to the shelter that night. The next day when I woke up, there was a voicemail because my cell phone had been turned off, but work first helped pay that cell phone bill. And wouldn't you know that the first voicemail that I got was a job making a last attempt to contact me because they wanted to offer me a job. Now, at the time, it was a full-time job, but it was only paying $8.50 an hour. But you know what? I was hungry. I was determined to succeed and to create the life that I had always wanted for me and my daughter. And so I accepted that job, and the next week I began paid training, and my story only went up from there. So never shun services that our tax dollars pay for, that we need on our way to our next step. But what I want to encourage people, the most important thing is, though you may have to move in silence sometimes during your journey and block out noise that is distracting, you also do not want to isolate yourself from community and services that is needed to get you out of a situation that you don't want to be in, or even if you're not in a bad situation, to propel you forward in your next stage or step. Do not let isolation long term become a solution. Isolation is a tool of distraction and destruction. Okay? Community is key, and community equals resources. Means that you have to sometimes go outside of yourself in order to get what you need. Remember the power that you have inside of you, okay? Resilient women are resourceful. Resilient women are humble, and we put pride aside to get to where we're going because we know that we cannot do it alone. Hopefully, I have shared something and said something that can help you along your journey to living life with resiliency and less stress, because who doesn't need that?